Hello YouTube, I'm Viking Squid and I'm here today to make a video about tools. I'm trying to help you set up your own backyard wood shop, and I think it's kind of important that we talk about the kinds of tools that you should have on hand if you want to have a successful backyard wood shop. So I'll show them to you one at a time and talk about their options. Set up the sawhorses like this. And then lay a piece of plywood across like that, and I have me a table. So you're going to have a backyard wood shop. You probably want to have an assortment of tools. You probably want to have a good claw hammer, although you probably don't need one this big because this is a framing hammer and it's a little bit overkill. Probably want to have yourself a good little level. You probably want to have yourself a flat bar. You probably want to have a chalk box, a good tape measure, a speed square, and some kind of clamp system. You could probably get by in a wood shop with these basic tools. A good assortment of hand tools is worthwhile having in a backyard wood shop. The first tool that we're going to look at is the circular saw, commonly called a skill saw. It's the least expensive on the table here. It's a Black & Decker. One of the downsides to having this Black & Decker saw, though, is it doesn't have a spindle lock for changing the blade. So in order to change the blade, I've got to stick a screwdriver down here to hold the blade while I use the wrench to loosen the blade, and that could end up damaging the teeth on the blade. But really, this is a good saw, and I've had it for several years. This is about the most popular saw that carpenters like. It's a Makita, and just about every carpenter I know has one of these Makita saws. It's got a spindle lock. This little lever right here allows you to lock it, so that when you do go to loosen up the blade, it keeps the blade from turning. It has a very easy operating depth to it. Just push this lever and up and down it goes real easy. It's got a good solid aluminum base with a ruler on this edge and a ruler on this edge, and that can come in handy for certain applications. An LED light right there that shines down on your saw line, and that's really nice if you're cutting outside at dusk. Now the Bosch saw I like better because of several things. One, the wrench is right here in the handle, and it stays there, so you never have to look for it. It also has a spindle lock back on this side, and having a spindle lock to change the blade is a pretty good feature to look for in a saw. The base also goes up and down the same way. It has this lever right here that allows me to move the guard out of the way. I just think that's a really handy feature to have, and the Bosch saw is the only one I know of that has that feature. This one runs about $40. This one runs about $120, and this one runs about $140. The next tool you might want to think about having, as far as saws go, is a jigsaw. Now this one right here is your typical Black & Decker jigsaw. They're good little saws, least expensive blades, and they work pretty good, but they're not really good for everyday use. The only other saw that I have to show you is this one. It's a Bosch saw, and it uses a more expensive blade, a bayonet mount. Now to change the blade in this one, you simply use a screwdriver on this screw and loosen it up and pull the blade out. To change the blade on this one, you turn this knob right here and the blade comes loose. This saw right here is a reciprocating saw. meaning that when the blade's going up and down, it's also going back and forth like this, and it just cuts faster. This blade does not do that. All it does is goes up and down. This one here runs about $40. This one here runs about $100 more. Both of these will cut curves, and either one of them will work in your backyard wood shop. Okay, I've got drills on the table here now. Several different kinds. I've got these older styles. This one by Black & Decker. You can buy at Walmart for around $40. The downside to this drill is it's not variable speed. It's just forward and reverse. And the forward and reverse switch is here on the side, which makes it a little bit more aggravating to use. It uses a chuck key on the Jacobs chuck, which chuck keys have a tendency to lose themselves. This one right here is Craftsman from Sears. It runs about $60. Also, it has a Jacobs chuck that needs a chuck key. Not a good thing. Not when you can get a drill, any drill just about now with a keyless chuck. That's the way to go. This one has a little bit easier operation on the forward and reverse because it's right here by the trigger. Also, this one's variable speed. This one here is made by Makita. It uses a cord, and it's a good all-around drill to have because it has a half-inch chuck, which means it'll run bigger drill bits. I run hole saws with this drill all the time. And it's a hammer drill. You push this button and it puts it in hammer mode, which means that you can drill holes in brick, mortar, and concrete. That's a handy feature to have. You can put masonry bits in here and drill holes. Now, I really like using my cordless drills. This one here is a Makita I've had about 20 years. It uses stick batteries, 9.6 volts. It's a clutch, which means when you're using it, it'll stop and make that clicking sound so it doesn't overstrip your screws. I mostly use this one for driving screws. And with these nickel metal hydride batteries, they last about 4 hours versus the ones that came with it, the stick nickel cadmium batteries, which only last about 2 hours. Now, this is my Cadillac drill right here. It is a DeWalt XRP 18 volt drill. Now, it looks like it's been through the ringers and it's been in bad shape, but it works really good, and I use it mostly for drilling holes. So I'll be drilling my holes with this one and driving the screws in with this one. I like using them both at the same time. This one uses an 18 volt battery. These batteries run about $80 a piece. The ones for this one, the nickel metal hydride, run about $70 a piece. The nickel cadmium batteries run about $40 a piece. Both of these have keyless chucks. And really, if you're looking for a cordless drill, a Makita or a DeWalt, you can't go wrong with either one. As to routers, I'm really quite partial to the Porter cable router. This is the Porter cable model 690. This one, it came with two bases. It came with a base like what's on this router, which is a stationary base, and it came with this base here, which is a plunge base. And it's going to cost you about $200, but buy a router that comes with this and with a plunge base, with a stationary base and a plunge base. And here's the reason why. Did with the base that came with that. I mounted it to the bottom of a piece of plywood and made me a router tabletop. Alright? Now I've laminated it. You probably don't have laminate, but if you want, I can show you in a future video how I did that. When you're looking for one, you probably want to consider buying one that has a half-inch collet and a quarter-inch collet. If the Lord's willing, plan to make you a lot of videos showing you how to do really neat stuff with the router.